that we have been talking about here lately, and there was a recent article, a study that was published about it, and is using salt in your tea. So using salt in your tea actually gets rid of the bitterness or the astringency. A lot of people use it in green teas because they do tend to be a little more bitter, have a little more astringency to them, and everything else. So what I've done is I've actually brewed up some black magnolia because we are currently out of green tea, so I can't use green. But I did do black magnolia, and I steeped it for 10 minutes instead of 5 so that I could bring out some kind of astringency, some kind of bitterness, so that we could test this out. So I've done black magnolia. I'm going to fill our cups evenly. And then here I have just some plain old table salt. So we use grinders for ours, so it's very fine. So I'm going to take and put just a pinch into this cup over here. Then I'm going to stir that in. Make sure it's good and mixed. Alright, so now we have both of our cups. This one is with the salt. This one is without the salt. And now we're going to taste them. So, without salt. Tastes like our black tea. There is just a little bit of, not really astringency, but dryness. It's very hard to get our teas to be astringent or bitter because of the way that we've developed them. But there is a slight, almost dryness. Now the one with the salt. And see, that's not there. And you don't taste the salt. I think that's one of the misconceptions, is people think that putting salt in their tea or in any beverage really is going to you're trying to make it salty, almost like a margarita, like where they rim it with salt. But that's not what we're doing when it comes to tea. It's just a very small amount. Most people will never taste it. People that are a little more sensitive to the saltiness may get a slight bit, but even with this amount, even those people, for the most part, will not get that. So the kind of bitter dryness that was there in the first cup is not there in the second cup. So the salt trick does work. It is something that I've known about for a very long time. Most people in the South know about salt when it comes to tea, especially those who had grandmothers that grew up making black tea for them. My grandma always did it. She did baking soda, though, instead of salt. She put a pinch of baking soda, and any of that astringency and bitterness that you used to really get pretty badly in Southern sweet tea would be gone. And what's happening is your receptors are multifaceted. Okay, so you've got a taste bud that's not just tasting hot or not just tasting sweet. You don't have all these different taste buds on your tongue and your mouth for only one particular thing. It is actually there and coats the entire receptor, which gets all of these things. It's how it actually affects your complicated thing to go over. Anyways, so the salt actually gets onto your receptor and blocks the ability of it to actually perceive the bitterness or the astringency, which is why salt works. The salt lasts longer than the bitter or the astringent, so you won't get that on your tongue at all. So adding just a small tiny bit of salt will get rid of any bitterness, any astringency, and you are not going to taste a saltiness. It'll be gone. You will not taste it at all. It's just not enough in there for you to actually fully taste. So I hope this helps you out. If there's any questions, please feel free to comment, and we will get back to you with those answers to your questions, and we will attach the video to, or the link to the study that was done on salt so that you can actually look it over if you'd like. Well, I hope you'll all have a wonderful day, and thanks for joining us.